Welcome to Industry of Impact. Are you asking the right questions? Am I getting technical knowledge and expertise?
I am with AMI.
Am I getting the right solution for my company?
I am with AMI.
Am I getting a trusted partner?
I am with AMI.
So, who are you with?
I am with AMI.
I am with AMI.
I am with AMI.
Are you? Go to automatedmarketing.com.
All right, welcome everybody to Industry of Impact.
I lost her video. There we go.
There we go. Industry of Impact is a LinkedIn Live series and podcast that really shines a light on people who are making a positive impact on companies, on people, on communities. And, in any industry across the board, from industrial to tech, food and bev, consumer goods, you name it, there are people out there that are doing good and helping others. And this is a platform for us to talk to them and get to know them. And really, like I said, shine a light on them. There's a quote that I like to say now each time by Carl Sagan that says, "Who are we if not measured by our impact on others?" That's it. Who are we if not measured by our impact on others? And I think that kind of sums this up in a really concise way. Our hope is that watching this, you will connect directly with our guest. We hope that you will follow them, and in this case, follow our guest today. But then also you'll walk away with some inspiration, ideas, actionable steps, and something that will just hopefully enhance your business and your life. So that being said, my name is Mark Berger. I am the VP of Marketing for AMI. My co-host today is Bill Allen. He is the VP of Sales and Service for AMI. And our guest, the star of the hour, or part of the hour, is none other than someone who is a founder, a CEO, a producer, an advocate, really just all-around rock star is how we'll describe her. She's well known for USA Loves Manufacturing, which has a really big following. I think over 65,000 followers on LinkedIn. Gretchen Philyaw. Welcome, Gretchen.
Hey guys, how are you?
Doing really
Fantastic.
well. We're very excited that you're here. I thought you were going to wear the Santa hat. I was ready for it.
I have it ready for later. It's kind of like the surprise, the ending. You just messed up the surprise.
Oh no, I blew it.
I'm joking.
Awesome. So you're in Atlanta area, Georgia? Is that right?
I am. Yes,
Awesome.
North of Atlanta.
Is that where you're from originally?
Yeah, I'm originally from Georgia. Was here pretty much until I moved to New York City briefly, and then I moved out to LA and San Diego and Aspen, Colorado, really briefly. Yeah. And then I made my way back. Sorry. I'm having issues with my phone actually trying to not kicking off. So sorry about that. Yeah. But yeah, and made my way back to Georgia and have been here for quite a while. So love the state. You know, you get kind of all the seasons. So it's really nice to be here.
Yeah, I almost moved to Atlanta once. It was very close.
Yeah, I lived in Peachtree City. You know where that is?
Yeah, a little bit south
Yeah.
of us, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty wide area. You know, it's like LA. There's a lot to the city because there's such a big circle around.
And that
Yeah.
traffic.
It's a lot of sprawl coming off
Exactly.
Atlanta, right? Yeah.
So I think an interesting place to start is kind of what sparked your interest in when you were growing up. Like, when did you kind of come across this idea that you were inspired by robotics, technology, manufacturing? When did that kick in, and how did that kick in?
You know, that's kind of an interesting story, I guess. I really, when I was growing up, I was an avid reader. I was very much leaning toward, literature and I guess the cultural art, liberal arts. But when I went to college at UGA, yeah, go Bulldogs. I started, of course, core classes. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, and I ended up in the Terry College of Business. So I received a BBA in marketing, but I enjoyed all of the business classes. I really, love the idea of entrepreneurship, and those are my favorite classes in the marketing core, I guess. Personal selling, etc. So that's kind of, where I was for quite a while. And, I always did well in science, didn't really like math, but, did pretty good in that as well. So I always say, I love the term Da Vinci Redux. And I talk about Renaissance men and women, people that, have kind of like the arts piece of it. And a lot of the technology, science, et cetera, it really does kind of meld, and it's a symbiotic relationship. So I guess you could say I'm a little bit of everything. I don't really focus on one particular thing. So going into manufacturing and technology, it was kind of a easy thing to do in the end. And then I found out how much I really enjoyed it. But there's such a creative process to it as well.
Love it.
Yeah,
Amazing.
but yeah, my family was always, we were always very much obviously pro-American. We really, way back when, it was easier, but we really always did try to look for the Made in the USA tag. My father was a big proponent of it. My mother, English teacher, she always was kind of always looking at the ethical way of doing most everything. Amazing woman. So they saw the quality and how it really was what we should do as Americans. So they really inspired me in that respect.
Cool.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So tell us about USA Loves Manufacturing a little bit. Like, what is it, and when did that effort kind of kick in? And kind of what's your mission with it?
It was such an organic thing. I really didn't have a big plan when I came up with the idea. I had been in cellular forever, and I had my own agency. I came from the Nextel, the old 2A background. Started my own agency with a business partner, and we did that for quite a while. We were purchased. Nextel was purchased by Sprint, so we had a few stores, and that's really the way Sprint, we were very used to B2B, like working with government business, but Sprint wanted us to all have, 20 stores before it was all over. And that wasn't really the business path that we were looking for. So, he stepped out, and I continued it. I started a reverse logistics company where I recycled cell phones before the big guys came in and realized there's a lot of money in it. So they started doing it. And I was like the little hardware store when Walmart came to town. But that was great because I had been in cellular for a while and I was somewhat burned out. So I started looking, and there was a company that did industrial repair and equipment. They were a really small company. And I thought, why not? Sometimes it's fun just to try something new. But I found out really quickly as I went around and saw a lot of the manufacturing companies, I loved the idea of it. I loved the people, met so many interesting people. The technology was changing so much with 4.0, and I just fell in love with it. But what I found was nobody's talking about it. I didn't see that there was a lot of celebration of what to me was the beginning of it all, the nascency of America, the Industrial Revolution. That's why we are who we are today. And it was a weekend. I just decided, I wanted to do something more. And I came up with the idea. And that was about 3.5 years ago. And, I thought, well, I want to do some sort of vlog or podcast, going out and seeing companies and doing videos. So it took a while to really put that together. But that was my initial thought. But it really grew because there were people that wanted to be involved with sponsorships and memberships. So it was a very organic thing, but it's really grown. I'm actually on a mission this month on LinkedIn. So anyone that is listening, I think I'm at about 8,000. I can't remember the number now, but I'd like to get over 10,000 before the end of 2022 for USA Loves Manufacturing, because I believe we just really need to focus on getting the word out about how important manufacturing is for America.
You said 10,000. You're saying followers, dollars? What is that?
Membership.
Yes. I think it's 8,000 something on USA Loves Manufacturing, the company page. Now, my personal, I don't know how many I have at this point.
65 plus. I left. It's a lot.
But USA Loves Manufacturing is the page. It's the company page. So anybody out there, if they would follow USA Loves Manufacturing and American Made, which is another one, for the TV show, I really want to start putting more and more out there to highlight companies and individuals that are making it happen for America.
So it's kind of like a Mike Rowe, dirty jobs kind of thing, right?
And you know what? It is somewhat because again, I guess the organic way that it started, and me going out and going into these facilities, but what actually. And that's part of the perception that I want to change. Yes, it is. Manufacturing has that quality sometimes, but a lot of the manufacturing facilities, they're like microcosms. It's just you go into a huge facility and it's like a small little village or, town. It's almost like a good part of these dystopian movies. You can do everything and anything in these facilities. And then you have the facilities that have tons of robotics. I learn something new every single time I go into a manufacturing or technology plant or facility. So it's a very interesting path for people to take.
So do you have a story maybe of a facility that you went into that kind of shocked you in some kind of way what you saw? I actually have one, and I'll share mine if you have one.
There's so many that, there are, of course, like the bucket list visits that you're just like, wow, I can't believe I'm able to be in here. That's like, SpaceX was just unbelievable. Hyundai, Kia was, a facility. It's actually down near Peachtree City. And that was one of those and Hyundai in Alabama, where you go in and it's like a small city because you can do your banking. You can go to the doctor. They have doctor's offices. They have better food and cafeterias sometimes than you can get anywhere. And of course, all the different divisions, people think manufacturing, they think people that are working out on the lines. Well, those are my heroes. Actually, they're the ones that we should be celebrating. But there's also, of course, engineering, the amazing intellect there. But there's marketing, there's, HR, there's so many options in places, and it's a fantastic working environment that you get paid and you can go home at the end of the day and know you're making a difference. So, that's why I think it's, again, about perception and getting the word out.
Yep. Well, I'll share my amazing story because I used to have a bit of a love for chocolate. I don't anymore. As I got older, I was like, not allowed to eat that, right? But I went into HB Reese up in Pennsylvania, and the difference between what you get, and I'm actually looking at a sample of HB Reese right now, but those what you get when it comes in the package in the store. It's great. I love them, but it's so different than what's on the line. And, as we were installing equipment there, was able to go out and literally just pick one off the line. And it's unbelievable. Same with bread factories.
Oh, right.
It's so incredible as you're standing there. And then they're in this smell every day, all day, right? Everybody who works there. So they're completely unfazed by it. But all the technicians, and at the time I was a manager, a technical manager, we would go in and we'd just be like drooling, like, oh my God, this place smells so incredible. And it's amazing to see all these people standing around and they're just like, yeah, we smell it.
They're desensitized.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Yep. There's actually one here in north of where I live. It's King's Hawaiian, which everyone knows. And I've been in that facility a few times, and like you said, you can get the bread right off the line. It's amazing.
Gretchen, that's got to be the best ever, because that's the best bread. Like it's so good. And
it's amazing to see those facilities. Of course, they're absolutely beyond clean, and the fact that you're trying to grab one off the line or whatever, and I'm like, almost, oh, should I? But now, they have places where you can do that. But the taste is just unbelievable. But I will say that King's Hawaiian does a pretty good job of, not only when you first get it, but in their packaging. And, everybody loves King's Hawaiian, and it does taste as incredible good after being on the grocery shelf. But yeah. What was the name of the chocolate company again? Because you got to get me in there.
So that's the Hershey company, but it's
Hershey.
One of the specific facilities is HB Reese, and that's where they're making the peanut butter cups. Yeah.
Right. Well, okay, you got to hook me up.
You know what? It's an amazing facility. If you've not seen all the pickers and everything, where they're literally picking out which ones look right and which ones don't look right, and it's an amazing facility. They've done an incredible job with it. But the smell is really the magic. I mean, as soon as you drive into that town, you can smell it in the air, and you're like, I just want to move here. So I'm smelling chocolate every day, right?
There's, I can't remember the city. I think it's Cookeville, Tennessee. M&M Mars is there. Same thing. You just drive into the city and you start smelling the chocolate. And, you go, I haven't been in the facility. I've been just outside of it. And I would stay there all afternoon just to smell the chocolate. It's amazing.
That's hilarious.
It is. Yeah.
So I'm curious. I think you said this, and I think I saw it on the USA Loves Manufacturing website. You do have sponsors. Mm-hmm. Is that something you actively are wanting to get? Like, if companies want to get involved with USA Loves Manufacturing, sure, they can follow the LinkedIn page and do all that. Are there other ways for companies to get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not something that I've done a big marketing campaign for. It's usually people that come to me and are interested in, being involved. But we do have a website, usalovesmanufacturing.com, and you can join. Yes, I would love to have, more sponsors, more members. We are in the process of revamping a little bit. So we're going to be going more regionally next year. We're going to have meetups. So I would love for people to go take a look at it and join as a member. It's $100 to be a member. And right now, when you join, I'm also going to be doing a highlight of as many people as possible on LinkedIn. So they'll be able to get the information out about their business. Same with sponsorship. We've got some amazing sponsors. Merrill Lynch, Iris, we've got Mile Marker who just started, and Source Day is an amazing sponsor. So really proud of, what we're doing with our sponsors. And I think if you look back at some of the stuff I'm doing, I'll explain how they're contributing to manufacturing and technology. So we'd love for people to look and be involved in any way. We're going to be doing more and more videos, and it's an exciting time.
That's great.
So if I have friends who are in manufacturing things in the United States, particularly like in the industrial sector, are those places that you would like to go and visit, and I can kind of just turn them over to you?
Sure, of course, because not only do I do the founder of USA Loves Manufacturing, but I also have a company where we do industrial repair and robotic automation. So we can do robotic automation projects, which of course, that's really exponentially growing. It's amazing the difference in before COVID and after COVID. A lot of companies are adopting these technologies now, and the ROI is much better. I mean, some of the collaborative robot lines, you can see ROI after a year and a half to 2 years, and it makes a difference.
Unfortunately, I have some bad story about that too, but I won't tell them on here. I'll tell you in private. But we're just facilities with 3,500 employees now down to 35 to 50, and all those things have gone quiet. The gyms are collecting dust, and there's nobody in the cafeteria, and that's kind of a sad thing to see when you've been going to a facility for 10 or 15 years, and there was 3,500 people there, and now there's 50. I mean.
Right. And are you saying that's because of automation, the robotics implementation, or just because they're shutting down?
No, completely automation.
Oh,
everything is completely automated now, and there's just no people.
Well,
I mean, it's amazing.
There are those plants and facilities where you're going to see that, but we are not in a situation, and this is very important to, let people know, the layperson or whomever, that robotics, they're not going to take jobs. They're not going to replace people. I understand, certain situations like that, but it really actually creates more jobs. If you think about it, and this is a whole other conversation that we could do a whole episode, but the reshoring initiative, when you look at the amount of manufacturing that we have here in the U.S., yes, I mean, some have shut down, some are completely automating. Well, why wouldn't we? Because if that means America can become more and more streamlined and eventually bring more back, if we bring more of our manufacturing back, it's going to help with our nationwide security, which we absolutely need to do. Why would you ever send medicine or medical equipment or anything that is crucial? Why would you send that to any country? Actually, but why would you send that to a country that does not have your best interest at heart? And I'm not trying to make it a political conversation. Yeah. I look at it from a positive point, but there are pieces of what we see. We've got to bring a large amount of that back.
Absolutely.
And that creates jobs. So
it also creates an ecosystem around it. So all the jobs that are created by that manufacturing coming back fill up where it left earlier, right? Once it comes back, then you build that ecosystem around it. So I think automation and technology, it can't be stopped because it's more efficient and it's coming.
Right.
And it needs to come here rather than go someplace else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Very much so. I believe, and I spout these numbers a good bit, but okay, less than 3% of our textiles or clothing is made here in the U.S. Less than 3%. And that's just insane. And we can bring these companies back. They can be streamlined in a way, like companies like a Source Day, that's one of the sponsors, or people that help with that supply chain and creating a more sustainable company. We can lower the cost. People think that, it's so much to bring it here and then the cost of clothing will go up, etc. But I mean, how many pieces of clothing do you have? And how many pieces of clothing?
Me, not many, but you probably have a lot more than I do, Gretchen.
Well, actually, you know what? I'm not much of a shopper. I wear black all the time, but it's such a happy color. No, I'm joking. But, I wear a lot of black, and I don't buy a lot of clothing because I believe that, we all, and I still have too many pieces. But would you rather buy a shirt for $10 and you think about all the aspects of what that $10 has behind it when you're buying it from another country that maybe they're not thinking about environment, they're not thinking in a sustainable way or responsible for their workers? Would you rather buy the $10 shirt that has that behind it? Or would you rather maybe buy a $30, $40 shirt that's going to last 3 times as long, that is a responsible way of producing and has not only America at its heart, why it's doing it, but really we're stewards for the world. And if we aren't, and if we don't, do this first, who do we go to? Who can we depend on if we end up falling? So that's why we need to bring everything back and create these companies that are more responsible to the world.
So your company that you mentioned it's called Magenta Technologies,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, good. And people can see that and get to that from your LinkedIn profile as well.
Yes, actually, my website is being revamped, and I believe tomorrow actually is when I'm relaunching, getting it all detailed out so people can see. I've added on some more pieces to it. Not everything is repair or even, my robotics projects. We also bring in other technologies, and I'm trying to, again, like drone technology, there's a lot to how it supports manufacturing and technology. So I'm always thinking of what can I do next? How can I bring it in? And of course, have it contribute to the whole piece of what I'm doing. You can't bring on too much. And that's something I really had to learn. And I'm sure everybody has had to do that. But if I'm out there and I've been a flake, to you in the past few years, sorry. But, you really do have to realize that you've got to hone in on what you can do and do really well. And you can't just keep bringing everything on, because then you aren't able to do any of it as well as you should. So, but you'll be able to see on there all of the different services, and I'm going to be doing more. I don't usually promote my business, but I'm going to start doing that more on LinkedIn, and because it provides a value, I believe.
Well, and you're naturally promoting your business, through your advocacy,
Mm-hmm.
USA Loves Manufacturing, and the next topic I would like to hear you talk about is your TV stream. The show, what's the show called? American Made?
Fabric of America.
Fabric of America. Okay.
Yeah, you can follow on LinkedIn. I have it as American Made because it's different projects. But this particular show is called Fabric of America. Right. And it was supposed to premiere in November, but we were in final edit and had a couple of things we had to do. So it is launching here in December. It is on the Your Home TV network. And Kathy Ireland, I'm sure everyone knows Kathy Ireland, stunning and brilliant woman. She has made herself into this business magnet, and she is the chief strategist of this network. So I'm very excited and proud to be under this umbrella. And they've got a lot of different shows. So you can go to yourhometv.com and you can look at what they have to offer, but my show, Fabric of America, is going to be on there.
That's exciting.
Thank
Very
you.
exciting.
We'll see.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
I was
going to say, Gretchen, I actually know you better than I do Kathy Ireland, because she was like, when I was a kid, she was really popular, but Gretchen's like the LinkedIn rock star. I mean, I know you much better than I know her.
Well,
so you should do very well.
She is amazing. What she's doing for this project, and she is just hugely successful, and what all of the ventures that she has done since her modeling days. And I just really look up to her, and very, very excited about this project. I was initially doing it with another smaller network that I just did not feel comfortable aligning with in the end, and took a couple of steps back, and then they approached me in the summer. So I feel very, very blessed to be with this group and just super excited about it.
Great.
Amazing.
Well, I look forward to watching it.
Thank you. Well,
no doubt.
We'll see.
Now, I've seen a couple of videos of yours of you shooting.
Right.
Bill is the gun expert. I'm not the gun expert here.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Do you have any certain kind that you enjoyed the most? And
careful, you're stepping on the third rail, Mark.
I saw some kickback on one of them, really kicking that shoulder back a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I've been very, very fortunate again, just in the situation that be able to visit a lot of different companies and, people that have approached me in the past. And so I've been able to go out on a lot of shooting ranges and
Nice.
WMD guns. Actually, they're such good friends now. I love them to death. I've been able to do quite a few shooting episodes. We've done some full auto, and I love their product. They have a different technology. Speaking of technology, it's a coating that is almost impermeable. And a lot of people don't know about it, but it's part of, there's WMD Guns and there's Performance Coated Products. Mike Vetter, he's on LinkedIn. He could certainly tell you more about it, but you could put one of the guns into the sand, from somewhere over in the Middle East for 3 years, and then pull it back out and it's going to shoot immediately. Not only does that coating work for guns, but also many, many different things in industry, from aerospace to, I ask him even about spindles and the hydraulic cylinders, because chroming is such a pollutant, but so many different aspects. And then Lion Arms is another smaller manufacturer. But I've visited quite a few, and always I'm excited. Of course, I like Glock and Daniel Defense. So
yeah,
I'm pretty much.
I actually have a friend. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'd say I have a friend who lives in the neighborhood who runs a small arms manufacturing company here in Houston. And he's invited me to come look at the place. And we haven't got around to, setting it up to make it happen. But there's another option if you're ever in Houston.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be out in Houston probably in February, so we'll definitely have to do that. Okay. I like to shoot skeet too. That's one of my favorites.
The other opportunity is up in Dallas, so not too far away. 3 hours.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm actually supposed to go to both of those when I come out to Texas, so we'll definitely have to do that one.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But yeah, love shooting. It's always fun. But, I have a lot of I like to do just pretty much anything. I like to learn new. I'm not really good at anything, but I can do a lot of things, if that makes sense, because I'm very curious. So, and that's okay. I never said I was going to be a pro at anything. So
awesome.
Good.
Okay. Well, we like to leave these industry of impacts with the hardest hitting question of all. Oh, did she leave?
She dropped us.
I think it might have been an accident and ironic timing that I was saying leave these.
Yeah, it's probably an accident.
Yeah,
I wonder if she'll come back in.
We'll see if she jumps back in here, because if she can't answer pineapple on pizza, I don't know what we're gonna do.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
It's the reason we're doing this.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we have had some passionate responses. People look back.
Yes, especially Miss Michaels.
Yes, she was at least
very, very, very serious.
Definitely the most passionate about pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, there's something wrong with you if you're doing
that. I liked it.
Oh, that was beautiful. I think she actually thought you were saying we were done.
That was a quick departure, so we didn't even say goodbye.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was more of a
I think she just fell
phone
off.
issue.
Tech fall off, if you will.
Well, let's just hang out a second, entertain the people. Sure.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, I'm hoping we could get into one of these manufacturers down here. Seems like a good fit for her.
And I would think companies would love having her in. It's like a free marketing thing, right? I mean, you get someone to come in and really highlight your company, and having her there as kind of a host. It's free marketing. Like maybe get on her TV show. I haven't seen that yet, so when it comes out, I'd be interested in checking it out. Definitely. Yeah, she said this month. So yeah, I definitely want to check it out. But it's funny because we've talked about this. She said she doesn't really market her, Magenta technology very much. But like I said to her, really, I mean, everything she does through USA Manufacturing, through the TV show, by marketing herself, she is the founder or president of Magenta. She's automatically marketing her company. It's inherently built in by building that personal brand.
Sure.
And it's
kind of
extremely
baked into the
smart.
cake, if you will.
Well, and I think we've talked to a lot of people on here that fall into that category. I mean, last week, Jacob Hall, he's a prime example, right? He works for a company and he has a personal brand, and there's no way that the personal brand doesn't help you in your company. It just automatically does. If you're good at branding yourself, then you're good at branding and working on your business.
Yeah, completely agree. This is absolutely 100% spot on.
Okay, I'm guessing she's got a major.
She's not coming back. She left us.
She gone. I said we like to end these things, and she went boom. I'm out of here. Very efficient with her time.
Yeah, apparently.
All right. Well, I'll have to ask her in an email, and when I post this episode on the website on YouTube, I will post the answer to pineapple on pizza in text, in writing, so that people aren't left like wondering, oh my God, never got the answer. Because I know that, like I said, it's the most important one here.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Thank you. And we'll
thank you.
Thank you to Gretchen. And we will have this archived and posted for everybody to watch. Have a good day, everybody.